Keeping to a routine can be difficult for a writer, but caffeine really helps in more ways than one. In this video, discover how caffeine works and a surprising effect that most people don't know about. Hello, welcome back to my channel and the second part of the routine that helped me write 2000 words a day. Today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite, caffeine. Now, everybody knows that caffeine makes you more alert and feel more energized. But does caffeine really give you energy? Well, that's not really the case. So how it works is that throughout the day, as you are active and alert and you do your various activities, through cell metabolism, adenosine, a neurotransmitter in your brain, is produced. Now this neurotransmitter, adenosine, is what makes you feel sleepy. So how caffeine works is that it blocks the adenosine receptors so that it's no longer connecting with this adenosine neurotransmitter and you don't actually feel sleepy. But that doesn't mean that once the caffeine wears out, you don't feel sleepy at all, because the caffeine does not give you energy. It just makes you not feel the tiredness. The good thing about caffeine is that it takes effect quickly. So within 30 minutes or 60 minutes of your consumption, the caffeine levels will peak in your bloodstream, and that's when you start to feel the effects of caffeine. You start to feel less tired as your adenosine receptors are being blocked. Okay, so how do you use caffeine in your routine? So most people, they'll drink a cup of tea or coffee, and black tea or coffee tend to have more caffeine content than lighter colors of tea most of the time. I think matcha is something that has pretty decent level of caffeine, right? So it's good to just go and check out how much caffeine you're actually using when you're using it. But in terms of the timing, right, it's a good idea to use it 30 to 60 minutes before your power hour so that it kicks in right on time. So if your power hour is anything like mine, which is after lunch, I would actually use that cup of caffeine right before that power hour, which is during my lunch. During my lunch, I'll drink a cup of coffee, and 30 minutes to 1 hour after that, that caffeine really kicks in and I'm ready for my writing session. Now, how long does caffeine stay in your body? So it has a half-life of around 5 hours. So the half-life basically means that after 5 hours, there's about half the amount of the caffeine that you originally consumed left in your body, as the caffeine is being metabolized in your system. So it actually varies between people. So it's not like it's 5 hours for everyone. And you actually should try it for yourself to see how much it affects you. So it can vary for as much as 1.5 hours to 9.5 hours, and that's a huge amount of variance. But for the majority of people, its half-life is around 5 hours. Right, so roughly speaking, it takes around 10 hours to clear from your system in the sense that it doesn't really have large enough amounts in your bloodstream to really give you that effect of alertness. And if you are using it in the afternoon, chances are, or in the early morning, chances are by the time it wears out and you start to feel sleepy or tired, that's when it's your bedtime. So that's pretty much perfect. But if your power hours happen to be in the evening, then it's best not to actually drink any coffee or any kind of caffeine, because this could interfere with your sleeping pattern. Try not to drink it around 6 hours to 10 hours before sleep. Now, of course, once again, this varies between people. For instance, if you can metabolize caffeine within just 3 hours, then obviously you can drink it at 9 p.m. and go to bed at 12. So it really depends on your schedule, it depends on your personal metabolism and so on and so forth. So I advise you to just go and try it yourself and figure out. But for most people, right, you try not to drink it 6 hours to 10 hours before sleep. So if your power hours are in the evening, there are other ways to stay energized and focus on your writing task. And we'll talk about that in a later part of this video series. So something that we might not know is that caffeine is a powerful reinforcer of experiences. So you can really use this to build habits. That's because our brain perceives caffeine as a pleasant reward, and so all the experiences and stimulus that we do or we experience while drinking that cup of coffee or tea are now associated with something that's positive, something that's pleasant. And chances are we'll like to experience those things again. So for example, like the cup you drank it in, the room you were in, the activities such as writing that you were doing while drinking it, or even the people you were with. That's why we really love coffee meetings. Now, how do you use this in your routine, right? So obviously we're going to use it to reinforce our writing habit. So it can be as simple as just drinking caffeine in the same room where you're doing your writing. You can drink it in front of the laptop or computer that you use to type your story or your novel in. Or drink it at a particular time where you're always doing your writing. So you can just use caffeine to reinforce all of the experiences, all of the stimulus that is involved with your writing habit. And that's how you can use caffeine to reinforce your writing. So in summary, caffeine makes you feel more alert, but not because it gives you energy, but because it makes you not feel your sleepiness. Caffeine also makes you associate all of the experiences surrounding that cup of coffee or tea with something positive and pleasant. So you can actually use it to reinforce your writing habit. Ideally, you want to drink it 30 minutes to 60 minutes before your writing session so that it kicks in time. However, you would want to avoid it if it's 6 hours to 10 hours before your bedtime. Now, all these timings, of course, vary from individual to individual, so you would want to try it yourself and see how much and in what ways do caffeine affect you. So that's all for today's video. I hope you found it useful and that you can use some of these tips in your own writing routine. Now, if you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And stay tuned for part 3 of this series.